Welcome to Seems So Easy NBC Productions. That is Nancy, Bob, and Sherry. We are here today to show you
It's a table runner.
a table runner,
It's called Open Weave Placemat. Placemat and table runners.
and we have put it on. Well, Sherry, show them why you decided to go with this instead of.
Okay, so I opened up the pattern and there's like, 12, 15, 16, 17 pages of stuff. And then it says, take these pages for a template and glue them all together on the dotted lines so that is one long piece of paper. Okay, well, and then I went like, Nancy, help me. I think we got a better way to do this, don't we?
We do.
Okay, can you tell me about it?
Okay, this is a design board, and they're very simple to make. You get a 4x8 sheet of insulation at your local big box store like Home Depot, Lowe's, or Menards. And you then get some 1x2s, and you make this frame. Now, it will be on the website by the time we leave today at 4 o'clock with the complete instructions. Now, we've only made ours 3x4 feet because of the size of the grid. But you can sew the grid together and make it, larger. But it's very simple to construct, and they're fantastic. We have plenty of this in stock.
Great.
It works perfect for this pattern because the size of the strips are exactly an inch. Each space is exactly 1 inch. So you got 1 inch, 2 inch, and that's exactly how this grid is set up. So it works perfectly for this pattern.
So it's a great design wall for things other than just this project,
Exactly.
for any quilt project.
That's
Any
right,
quilt
Bob.
project.
And anything, and if you're like me, I would just buy a chunk of it and stick it up on the wall with thumbtacks.
So like Nancy was
Exactly.
saying, is you can make this larger.
Right.
Right now, we're restricted by the width of the fabric, which is your regular 42-inch wide fabric. If you wanted to make it larger, all you'd have to do was put right sides together, line up the grid lines, and sew it together and make a longer piece of fabric.
Correct.
Very good.
Correct, but they can be used, flannel is the best thing to put on them because then things stick to them. So, like I said, they're really easy, and the instructions will be on the website before the end of the day.
And the flannel is easier to clean off the
Yes.
little threads
Little
that
threads that get on.
there than the batting is.
Okay, last week we talked about some new cutting mats that came in. They're creative grids. This one is great to put by your sewing machine.
I keep one of those because I do so much foundation piecing. I normally like to get up and walk when I'm around the room while I'm sewing, but when I'm doing foundation piecing, I want a cutting board and ruler next to my sewing machine.
Right. I keep one too.
Okay, and this size is perfect to take to class. Okay, and then Sherry's going to talk about the other two.
Okay, so on this size right here, on this one side of it, the lines are set up so that if you have any of these simple cut June Taylor things, the lines that you cut on line up exactly with the ruler. Can we see that, Bob?
Yes, I actually was checking to see that because I'm so familiar
It's very
with the
accurate.
different rulers that
Right.
are out there, and I wanted to make sure that it did line up perfectly,
And then on
and
the
it
other
did.
side, it's got markings on it. Wherever there's a star, it's a 1.5 inch cut. And if you go from, it's got your 3/8 measurements too, but if you go from square to square or star to star, you're making either a 1.5 inch cut or a 2.5 inch cut, which are common things that you're normally going to make. So it's really quite handy. It's very, very, very sturdy and strong. It will last forever.
It's I've noticed it's a little bit thicker than the regular
Yes,
cutting
it
mats
is.
that we
It's a
deal
lot
with.
thicker, yeah. So anyway, so we're going to start this pattern, and we start with 3¼ inch strips. I chose batiks because it's a woven pattern, and I thought they're already stiffer to start with, so I thought it would be easier to work with. And then what you do is you sew them right sides together to make a tube, and they suggest that you use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which I did, okay? And then you press, they say to press the seam open, so what I did when I did this was, with my iron, press them this way. Now this is a stiletto on this end, and this end is a heat resistant.
Let me zoom in on you there for a
Okay.
minute, Sherry. So what's that called?
It's Nancy got to tell you that. She's my assistant.
It is called Hold It Precision Stiletto
That's what I thought it was. Thanks.
Yes.
From Clover,
from Clover.
and we do sell them here. They will be on the website, for to shop for them on our website.
And they are on the website?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So they say to press the seam open. So if I use this heat-resistant end right here, is I can just press it open, and I get the iron right up to the tip there, so I've always got a really flat, open seam, which is very important. So once that is done, I'm going to rest my iron down there on my little mat there.
And remember, Sherry is using her cordless iron.
Yes, and that's once we do that, we have to turn these tubes.
Now, Saturday, Jacqueline volunteered to turn all these tubes, and they went so quickly because they are using the tool turner.
Right.
And
Besides that, she's a
again,
crazy person.
and we actually have the tube turners on our website also.
Okay, so they come in 3 sizes. There's 3 sizes of tube turners that you can use. This is the largest one, which I put into the tube, the plastic end, and then you're just going to take and stuff this end down into it. Uh-oh.
And that
And drop it.
wooden stick comes as part of the kit for
Yes,
the
it does.
tube turner, doesn't
The
it?
wooden stick.
You don't want to use something with a sharp pointed
And I push it
end.
through.
And there it is.
Wow.
Wow, fast and easy. Okay, then what you're going to do is press this flat, okay? And this is where I said to myself, Sherry, you know what? These are awfully flimsy little tubes. I said, you're going to have a hard time weaving these things in and out. So I thought, if I would get some Terrio Magic, which is another starch substitute. This is much, much stronger of a substitute than like the best press that I use when I regularly press my seams open. This will make your fabric very, very stiff. You actually pour it into a bowl and saturate the fabric with it. Let it dry for about 10 or 15 minutes and then iron it.
Now, could you put it in our sprayer like we did last
I
week?
put it in my Nancy sprayer,
Okay.
like we did last week. Only it's Terrio Magic this week instead of best press.
Now, if you do use Best Press and the Terrio Magic, you want to make sure you label your containers
Yes, you do.
that you've got, which one you've got in which
Most
container.
definitely. Because when you use this product, so here's the one that I just did. You want to hold that one up, Nancy? Then this is one that was sprayed. And this is the one thing I don't like about virtual is because you really need to feel the difference here between these two.
There is a definite, this is a lot stiffer.
This is like working with a piece of cardboard.
So the one that's got the Terrio Magic on it is basically mummified.
Right. Yes, exactly. Mummified, exactly. Exactly. Then you set them up on your board, obviously. You put the strips down. That's the whole width of the fabric, the 42 inches. And I just put one on every inch mark and an inch between them. Starting at the top, I put pins in every single one to help keep them straight. Okay? So what they say to do is to use glue. I'm not really a fan of gluing my fabric together. I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people do. It's just not my thing. So what I do is I use this little glue stick, and this washes out. So it's a temporary hold. So then you're going to go through, and excuse my back, and you're just going to pull back a little piece, and put some glue on it, push it back in there, make sure I'm straight on my lines. Kind of just pull and tug a little bit as you go across. And glue these.
And then you can unpin all this, and then you're going to sew.
Yes. Once I do all these and unpin them, you then go back and you can embroider if you want to embroider a little motif, or you could straight line quilt, or you can do whatever you want to do. But you're just going to quilt in these sections.
So what you're
With
doing is
squares.
basically adhering the woven strips together
Correct.
so that you can pick it up and handle it as a full piece of material
Correct.
without it falling
Right.
apart again.
Because I use this will wash out, so I don't have glued together fabric.
So what you're saying is, again, the advantage to using the grid wall is you have a dark line that you can line up one of the edges of fabric with.
Right.
And that keeps everything, as we
Nice and
said
good.
in the military, dressed right,
I
dressed,
guess that's true if you put it on straight.
sorry.
Did you put on,
I'm
what,
assuming it's straight. It looks straight, doesn't it?
what, the board?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course it is.
And when you do make your board, you gotta make sure that your grids are straight.
Exactly, okay? So anyway, once I take these pins out, then you have to finish up your edges. Okay, so you're gonna cut these all even. So they're the same length on each side. And you can simply just take them and you could turn it under and just do a hem and maybe just zigzag that shut like that if you wanted to. Or you could come along and you could take and fold the corners in,
Making
a point, like so, if you wanted to. And
Now,
then
in
you would
reading the
fold-
pattern, didn't the pattern show you how to do that?
The pattern shows you both ways to do this, yes. It
Says-
depends on how you want the finished product to be. I know you probably can't see that real well.
Put it over the white part of your,
Over here?
yeah,
Over here?
yeah, no, that's, but move your hands out of the way.
Down, away.
There you go, I just saw the point.
Okay.
There you
Is the
go.
camera on?
Yeah.
Is the lens cap moving?
Yes, the lens cap's open.
Anyway, it's a fast project, it's fun, it's a little bit different. You can also make placemats to go with it. I find out that you could easily make these 4-inch strips if you wanted to, or you could make them 1.5-inch strips, depending on the size of the grid you might want for your placemats or your tableware.
Okay, Sherry, what is that cute little
This,
bumblebee?
I was searching around on Checker looking for some fun stuff, and I found these little pin cushions, and I said, Nancy, can we please?
And what, they,
They said, of course we can. So
In the-
now we have these cute little pin cushions.
right, so we got a bumblebee, I think I saw a little fox over there.
Yeah,
think
no,
there's-
I think we got a
What do we have,
a
Stephanie?
unicorn
Yeah.
and a
sloth
unicorn.
And a unicorn.